Welcome back to another game. Took ages to get in with the game there actually. We waited for quite a while. But here we go. Feels like I've not played for a while either, so let's see how we do. It's a classic E4, D4. I'm going to get F4, F3. That'll be an interesting knight move. Probably knight C3 is an option, or moving one of your bishops. Yeah, I looked at this before, does it? It's not E5, is it? The engine? Maybe it is E5 that the engine is. Maybe I should play my bishop out whilst I could. I think this is an option, isn't it? This is probably an option. Is it? Yeah, we've got to be aware is there. Bishop takes, that takes, and knight there, check. Potentially, could be like bishop takes, king takes, knight check, king back, then push the pawn. No. Okay, so we trade. This is the other idea of like knight takes and push, but you can't take that because you get mated in one. Run the risk of this H1 running at us, but this and then this. I think we'll play for all this and then this. If pushes we get in here. So imagine we'll go here, there'll be this. Maybe they'll play that proactively. Let's play for here. And then maybe we play for F5. Maybe they try and castle long because, you know, like I say, it's when you play G6 you give your opponent a bit of a hook and something to run onto. So the first bit is to takes. But if I don't, then you can. I think takes is. I wonder if, regardless though, if we're going to get this and then push. So this is the natural square, with or without takes involved. Oh, I totally missed this. That's not good, is it? If I push. It's no good. Does this, I think it's okay, so there. Takes. Oh, maybe they even interpose this. It's not great. Something back here. Takes there. Push is there. Takes. It's all not very good. Taking here and pushing here. Queen takes there, that there, there. There takes push. Queen goes back. Just down 2 pawns. With very minimal compensation, if any. Takes there. Need to try and get onto the fact that his king's not castled, but maybe like this move at the end of the sequence or something. It's not a great spot to be in. Pushes there. Maybe I play this and no. Pushes there, okay, there. Yeah, and then takes, slide. So this is the move that I think just wins pawn. Maybe I should have gone for the exchange line, maybe I should have played knight here. I've gone takes, and just been down an exchange. And a pawn. Wow. Really? I feel super happy to see that. No, you're playing rook here, but still. Here, here, here. Or am I playing c6? Okay, and then queen out that way. Yeah. This gives my queen some breathing room, doesn't it? And stops the knight infiltration. Rook there, queen there, attacking the pawn. Maybe play like bishop back. Give me a chance to play this. Does really weaken my dark squares. But I think if I can land, if I can get this pawn here and land like a knight there, so like this, and the other knight there, that feels kind of strong. Definitely worse, but I don't think bishop f4 was the move. I think you should have just got greedy and taken on b7. Interesting. So now lets me get in e6. And this then becomes quite weak, doesn't it? But no, e6, knight there, you come in with check, I go across, and then at some point I'm going to interpose my knight there. I'm going to play this. This is really weak on the dark squares, so this dark square bishop is critical, but having a knight posted here is going to be really helpful. And actually if a rook comes after me, I've got, oh, this is my first contender, but this one as well, maybe target the e5 pawn. I'm thinking here, do I want to take, yeah, maybe. Take the knight. I think I'd still rather be white. I mean, look at my position. I've got two terrible knights, terrible rook, this guy's not going anywhere, a queen that's nowhere, everything's on the back rank, apart from this bishop. White's got a really lovely centralised pawn, a bishop pair, a knight where it should be, an active queen. So you'd much rather be white, but I still think they've reduced their advantage in the last couple of moves. So I'm thinking if a rook comes across, maybe this is better then. To go here, on this pawn. Whether I actually want to take it is another question. I think I want to get my knights developed. But again, they do a decent job of some things where they are, like this knight is preventing infiltration on d7, this knight is protecting f6, but really I want them here and here. So I think this should be the first guy to go on this route. Like I say, I think having the knight on d5 is going to be really strong, so I think them being able to play c4 could be quite critical. Maybe we'd reroute this way. Also be a bit careful if I play knight here, my queen then gets a bit short of squares, doesn't it? Something like this. A3, B4 could be problematic. So if I get 4 free moves, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'd feel like that position is more equal. Still not, even if I get that, I'm still not amazed with where my queen ends up. I think I should be looking at trying to trade off a bishop and swing your knight into maybe in this square. That's semi-difficult to defend, right? Knight here and a queen. Queen here and a knight here on this square. Semi-difficult to defend. I might have to play this and then move the knight back, and then I have to play king here, and then maybe they pin me with this bishop. Yeah, happy with that. They're eating to a fair amount of time as well, they're down to 8 minutes. So I think knight here, just give me this, doesn't it? No. It takes, check. It's splutter. I think knight there takes. Maybe takes. Don't know. There's options. You have to go for this idea of trying to trade off. But now I can play knight here. Probably, and then something will have to take. And then I think I take with my c pawn. I don't think I want to take the e pawn and allow them to play e6. Knight takes, pawn takes. Bishop here, say. And maybe in there. maybe take with the bishop. But then your pathing for your knight gets a bit harder. So if you take with the bishop and you get pawn here, you don't have knight e4 to jump to either of these two dark squares. So I think all else being equal, you should take with the knight to preserve your bishop pair, which they go for. But now, like, are you really concerned about guarding your pawn that you're going to go back to b3? No, okay. So you let me take the pawn, but I don't think I really have time for that nonsense. There, queen here. Queen here off the rip. Bring it back. Do I want maybe this kind of path? I think this gives you more flexibility, doesn't it, being here than here. Needs h5 a move, so that one bishop there, king there, takes. I think it's got to be this, isn't it? So there, maybe even this, and this, and then knight takes. This. Okay, so there. Takes. And I'll stop a pawn maybe. There. So there. If you take, I think that's bad because I can check and pick up your queen. You take with the rook. You take with the queen. I take. I'm up a pawn. I don't think there's any other sequences, is there? Tap my queen maybe? No. Take it here. What about this? Same thing, takes. There, takes. There, takes. So takes. Pawn. I think I can play this. Takes. Rook takes. Maybe even I can do this takes. Yep. There, is that an issue? Is that an issue? There. Half a pawn, you come in here. So I get greedy and take the rook. You go here and I can't defend that. I can play f6. Take. Can't take the bishop. You go there, I take there. This is the critical part. Not a bishop. No, sorry. There. Down a piece. Pawn. I'm gonna go for it. I've burnt a lot of time, and maybe it's not necessarily the strongest. They don't have super loads of threats. But I think if I can eliminate the c5 pawn and get loads of trades in, that equalises the position. Here takes. Yeah, what's this, the other critical line? So there takes there. Back this way. And then the queen can come back. And the pawn. Maybe we're holding on there. Tricky. Well, he's actually didn't even have to do that. I didn't even look at these squares. Didn't look at that. Bring back there, just take, no stress. Yeah. No, I think the same idea, I can take the bishop. Untap queen if it goes back there. Takes here. Taking here, isn't it? Comes this way, it's less of an issue because I can just slide my rook. Is it less of an issue? Yeah, it's a queen there. I go up a rook, I go down a rook. Go here. I'm not quite. Oh, this is good. Okay, so I lose this pawn back here. Fine. No clever intermediate moves. No. Takes here a check, I go down. Maybe he goes here, maybe I go gobbling. Let's check, I move back. This is no good. Okay, that's a good transposition, I think. I would say I'm happy with this. My threat of getting mated is now severely reduced. We play an endgame where they've got an IQP on D3. If they try and defend their A pawn, I get active on D and C files. Maybe they, yeah. Let's look here. Also to move away from the pawn, I'm threatened to take. If the rook takes, I'm in here. Interesting. Takes. Hit the pawn. Have to push it. I think taking gives me a good chance of winning one of these pawns. So takes, yeah, takes, rook over, you can't defend it, you gotta push it. Rook up to threaten the double. Maybe that's a good king over. I'm gonna double like a king here. Yeah, I've got some chances here. Certainly more than I did about 5-10 moves ago. It'd be interesting in that tactical skirmish if there was more that White could have done. I'd say there was an interesting line, wasn't there, of them dropping their queen in. They kind of rushed through that sequence to try and get to a more equal material position. So this is the only move, and then I need to work out what I'm playing against that, whether I'm trying to infiltrate with my king, or whether I'm trying to double up, maybe I'm trying to do this. Yes, if I go here, but then maybe rook across, and takes, and takes, and takes, it's pretty good. Here. And as soon as you move one up, I'm taking. Here. Yeah, I kind of like this actually, to go after this pawn like that. And with half an idea of coming over to double. How else can you defend this pawn? You can't you move your king over, I go over. You go over, I take. This. This pin is really nice. You can't move either of these rooks down these files. Well, you can play this. So you can play this. I don't think it really helps you because I can go here. You can't defend that. If you go over there, then this pawn drops. Okay, so this one. So I thought takes. I'm on this pawn. I'm protecting this one. I might get lateraled on the 7th on my f7 pawn. Takes here, I'm taking here, and if you do something to defend this, like push it, will go here. So I'm going to go here. It's going to take here. I thought there was something where like you can check me to get me up and then create a pin which allows you to take here, but you can't. If you go down to check me, then you're no longer on the 7th to do this. Maybe you're going to come over here to then go check up and up. Yep. So maybe I take, and when you come down, I'm over. That seems pretty sensible. Yeah, so it takes, comes down, I'm across. Maybe also with a check insert, so this pawn is weak. So it takes here, if comes down, check, king over, rook across. Such that then if the g pawn ever moves, I'm taking my f2 as check. And then if you take here, then I can trade, pick up there, and I've got 2 passes. Okay, so I check first, and I'll move this rook over. And if you want to trade here, that's fine. Oh, king g3 is interesting, isn't it? King g3, I'll probably just go back. So I think this, and then I've got this rook idea potentially. I've also got this, I've also got e5, and I've also got g5. I've also got rook a4. Is e5 any good? Don't think so, it just seems a bit weakening, doesn't it? They can sit behind it. I presume if I come back and they trade, it's probably a technical draw, but a difficult one in practice. I'm just going to sit back. Four and 3, all the pawns on the same side of the board. With rook, probably a draw. But hey, it's better than it was a few moves ago. We shouldn't be losing. Obviously rook's going to take, I don't know why he's pausing there. h5 to try and take some space. And play against any g4. Or is there anything better? Maybe king g7. I think h5 makes some sense. I kind of like leaving my rook on this f file to protect f7 and allow my king to go for a little mazy walk. I'll probably try and play for g4. I'm going to play this. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to create a pass pawn and do something here, because I think even if we trade down, rook and pawn against rook is a draw. So this has got very drawish vibes to it, but see how we get on. Maybe I should be playing g5. Actually, if the king goes back, maybe h4 is useful. Okay, so they play h4. Is g5 my strategy? I don't know. I'm not going to stress so much about it. I'm just going to say this is a draw. I'm going to play some moves and I'm going to see what happens. Maybe you can trade, put your king on H. I think part of it I was just trying to get him in some time pressure where he makes a mistake. Interesting. Is he going to go king H4 and give me G2 and leave your king permanently stuck on the H4? Bulge out. What are you going H3? Okay. Got potential for past H pawn, potential for past E pawn. I think I want one of these. Ideally, if I can swap up my H pawn, that would probably be quite useful. Swap the H for the G. And try and do something cool with these, but as long as he knows the good technique of trying to get around my back. Push that. Really limited the squares on my rook there. Maybe not super clever. Spreading myself quite thin. So I'm going to play king here, pawn up, rook there, bosh. Maybe get mated. Even if you trade, might still be a draw. Okay. Got to be a bit careful. Don't have my king here and allow like I push and they play G4. Here, you go somewhere, I push and we trade. If you do anything other, I'm going to go back, attack your rook, and I'm going to play H3 to trade off a pawn, and then I'm going to try and work something with this 2-on-1. I'll try and keep my time relatively high. I always find these when I've had games where I'm basically the white colour here trying to defend this, and you know it's a draw, but you do end up playing something where you slip up. You think you've built a fortress and then the opponent can slip around it, so I'll see if I can do that. And obviously, as the defending person, you've got to calculate all of the permutations. Right, so we trade that off. Now walk up with the king. Maybe I want the rook on another side. Let's go here. That feels like a useful road to try and control with a rook. If the king comes forward, maybe I'll go like here. So if I don't really want to swap off another set of pawns, because then that's more well-known technique of, I think you have to force my pawn forward before the king, and when the pawn gets to here, with the king sat behind it, you then go around and deliver checks, and then there's nowhere for the king to hide. Whereas if you can get king first and pawn forward, then that's good for me. Ooh, just snake up and in. Relatively difficult to stop me doing that, isn't it? Get here. Get to here, I've got a decision about how to defend this pawn, so I don't want to push it. So here, goes behind, maybe I drop. Check, right, these takes. And then I'm going to go here, see what happens. Yeah, I want to try and engineer it. Maybe I want my rook on this row, yeah. Threatening now to check. And keep his king pinned on the back row. That feels kind of useful, doesn't it? Check. Now your rook's kind of tied down. That check I just take. There you get mated. Check there. What about this? Check. That's annoying. Push its pawn. Get here. Yeah, there, check. And there, check down. Takes, 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 takes. So there, check, down. Okay. Gotta take. Gotta take. With these king positions, that's a win for me, isn't it? Is it a win for me? There, check, rook down. There, if you don't do anything, I'm picking up the pawn, and that's a win. There, check, rook down. Attacking your rook. And your pawn. I think you've got to take. I take. I'm attacking your pawn, you've got to take, I take. I've got a king, so I'm at king here, and pawn here. Your move. If you go here or here, and here, king there. If you go here, I push. You go back, I go there. I think this is good. I'm going to go for it. I think it's my best chance. Do I need to rush it? There. I think you've got to play this. There. Takes, 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 takes. There. There. There, I'm there. I'm winning, and if you're there, I'm there. Yeah, I'm going for this. I think you've got to play this. Which looks terrifying. But I've got rook there. Take the pawn, take there, take there. Yeah, I think this is a win. Maybe. I basically had to calculate this all the way through, but I think this is good for us. If you don't, yeah, now where are you going? If you try and get opposition, I can kill a move. So I kill a move, you go there, I go there, you go somewhere, I go somewhere. You can get, yep. Or there. You go to a side edge. Okay, here. Transpose. Because my king and pawn are far enough apart, I think we win this. If my pawn was here, I think that's then a draw. It is a draw. Because they have a position, but because my pawn's far enough back, it's not. Which we had to see before we went into that trade. So he's going to go there, and then push. And now he's got to go one of these squares, vacating one of these, so I go here. He pushes up, and my pawn just goes. Ooh. So I think we were in trouble in the opening and throughout. Got a slightly better position after all the trading, but I think I was worse for the first 15-20 moves. So here, he's taking a move. No. Why not? Bishop takes first. Okay. It's not terrible. Plus 0.5. So casting was trash, yeah, because of this. I wonder if it wanted the exchange line. So there takes. Yeah, why this way? Ah, you defend the. Yeah, still much better for white. This way, yeah, just take the pawn. I didn't really have. So it was gonna be, yeah, take the pawn. Knight goes there. Then you push with e6. Well, I'd thought push with e6, and then I was gonna. If you go knight c5, you can insert with check. Oh, you go with this knight. Clever. You still insert check. Run away. And the queen escapes. You can trade off the bishop. Yeah, and you're what, 2 pawns down here? Well, 2 pawns down, yeah. So, we didn't get that. I thought this was the first move that let me off a bit. So this goes from +2 to +1 basically. And then on castles, I thought that was going to be a pretty weak move as well, letting me get in e6. Still says it's +1.5. Okay, this knight maneuver was nice, and even here we're pretty level now. Knight takes, pawn takes. Bishop moves. Wow, engine just says take the pawn, there's nothing here. And I suppose because the knight's off, that's the main threat, isn't it? Because he's got to go on quite a big maneuver to try and do anything. So let's suppose you get this, and I go after pawns. You've got quite a long route to go on, by which stage my knight can go here. Let's say you're here. Let's assume I'm not going to take it. I'm going to play this or something. And even here you can just run away. Interesting. Fine, so I wasn't in as much danger as I thought, even at this stage. I was in danger before. They go here, and this is where we had a big think. Engine likes d4, good. Oh, you can cut the complication, just take it with the bishop. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that probably is much more favourable than this way. Oh wow, +4. So there is a line here that I missed then. So that takes the. Oh, this way. Yeah, and I've just got 2 pieces hanging. And if I take here, I was thinking you take here, I take, and you take, oh no you can't because the Queen Defense. You go here, yeah of course, and now we're done. Yeah, so this move, we've got nothing here, do we? Yeah, so we've got like Queen here. Oh, you just take the knight and I don't pick up the bishop. Yeah, fine, so we had the right idea, but we should take with the bishop, not the knight. They rushed through this, so this move, how long have they spent on this? 30-40 seconds. And after this transposition I'm feeling good. Yeah, and you give this -0.3 because I get first access to the file. It says EA, either look after the pawn or go active. I think in practice getting active is probably better. They allow me this. Queen trade is sensible because I get the activity of rook a c8, pushes, and then it likes c5. Pretty interchangeable now. Why? What's the difference? The rook can then defend laterally potentially. It takes. Why don't we take the other pawn? Why would I do that? So then I go off to your 7th and leave your 8th pawn. No, I'm not a fan of that. I think I like what I did. And interesting if this comes out as a draw. I suppose, yeah, actually I didn't have to trade, did I? I just thought I was forced to trade, I wasn't. But it takes the risk out of it, doesn't it? I feel like I was the only person playing for a win in this position. Okay, so this is now a draw. This is where we then decided we'd try and play for a win. Okay, now you've got to go back and stop me getting onto this second. Interesting, you don't do that. I get control of the second, and now this is a win. Rook f2 is winning. Check there, takes. Yeah, this is just all good technique from here. Awesome, really good win. Thanks for watching.